Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on mute. Welcome to the uh, morning gentle yoga class. We're going to start sitting up and just having a seat. So if you have something you'd like to sit on, a blanket or something like that. Oh, and Erica too, I was going to ask you, I'm sure we'll hit all of the right areas, but I was just going to ask you like parts of your body that you wanted to work on, probably just legs, shoulders, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a little tight leg actually in my back from my workout yesterday. So
Okay.
it's
Okay, good. And Robin, your back is nice and healed. Are you feeling 100% there? Okay, good. All right, so let's start an easy pose. So this might be a little bit uncomfortable for you, Erica, but we won't be here for a super long time. You can cross the legs, just have your hands on your thighs. And we're gonna get tall here, maybe close the eyes, start to take some breaths. So I've been fortunate enough to have some mentors and guides and coaches that have taught me a lot of really neat tools. And one of them is, as soon as I wake up in the morning, part of my morning meditation is gratitudes. So whether those things that I'm being thankful for exist already, like waking up in a warm bed, you know, um, waking up, period, things like that. Or, sometimes there are things that I'm working towards, or am just changing my mindset or putting myself in this mindset that these are just the things that are going to happen. Thank you for keeping my family healthy. Thank you for, clarity and, ease for this meeting I have to go to later today, things like that. So that's been a really useful tool for me as part of my morning wake up stuff. So I kind of wanted to bring that into our practice today. If you could just bring forth the things that you're grateful for this morning. It could be one thing, it could be 10 things, whatever it is, things that you're working towards, or even just having, water available to you, being able to sit up in a yoga class, things like that. We're just going to sit here and breathe and fill ourselves with that gratitude this morning. Another breath or two. And be sure to keep maybe not just the specific items or things or list that you were just thinking of, but that feeling that comes along with it. Try to keep that feeling throughout your practice this morning. Go ahead and open the eyes if you'd like. We're going to bring the right hand to the floor and inhale the left arm up. And as we exhale and lean to the right, we're going to just do some wrist circles. Be sure you go in both directions. Keep the chest lifted and get a nice opening in the left side of the body from the hip all the way through the fingertips. And then go ahead and bring the left arm down. Inhale the right up. Exhale, lean to the left. Have some good support under your left hand, a flat hand either on a block or the floor. Reach as far as you can, opening the right side of the body, and circle the wrist. And then go ahead and come back down. We're going to take the left hand to the right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Just a small twist here first. Exhale, rotate a little bit to the right. Just a gentle twist. And then exhale back to center. Right hand to left knee. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, revolve to the left. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. The shoulder blades flat. And exhale back to center. Okay, so we're going to do some seated cat poses. So as you exhale, just round the back and drop the head. You can hold on to your knees and push the spine back. And then inhale, you're probably going to have to slide your hands forward. Maybe not. Lift the chest. Lift the chin. And go ahead back and forth now with your breath. Move the shoulders around a little bit, the neck. But really move with the breath here. So try to feel as though when you're breathing in and out and moving the spine, that you're moving the spine like a wave. So just pushing, starting from the bottom all the way up into the neck. So the head is the last thing to come up and the last thing to go down. Just go back and forth 2 more times. And then go ahead and start to circle the waist. So big circles. It doesn't matter what way you start first, clockwise, counterclockwise. And then go in the opposite direction. Good. And then go ahead and come back to center. We're going to bring the legs out in front of us. We're going to do our seated stuff first and then get into the hip socket. So bend your right knee and drop it out to the side. Make sure you untuck the thigh here, flex the left foot. I know you can't see my foot, but you know it's there. Inhale, get tall. And then exhale, just walk the fingertips forward. So part of the back obviously is going to be affected by tight hamstrings. So your chin is aiming in the direction of your chin, your foot stays flexed, your shoulders back. And if you like to use a strap for helping you with this, that's fine, but you can use your fingertips too. Take another breath here. As we're stretching this, we're pressing the back, or as we're folding forward, I should say, we're pressing the back of the knee into the mat. Keeping those bandhas engaged. So the abdominals are protecting our back in this stretch as well. We're staying here for one more breath. See if you can go a little further. And inhale all the way up. Good. Now take this right knee and we're gonna do rock the baby. Such a silly name, but it makes sense because you know exactly what we're gonna do with this leg. So you're gonna hold on to the foot and the knee and then just rotate the best you can in the hip socket. Make sure you do the circling in both directions. And then go ahead and put the foot down, straighten it out. Bend the left knee, drop it out to the side. So same thing here. Untuck the meat away from your sitting bones. I know that sounds pretty personal, but it's what we need to fold forward. Press the back of the right leg into the mat. Toes are flexed towards the shins or towards the shin. And then exhale and fold forward. Good. Walk your fingertips, keep the shoulders back. And I know I referenced flat shoulder blades earlier, but keeping the movement of shoulder blades working towards each other and sliding down towards the tailbone. That's what we're aiming for. We'll take a few breaths here. As you breathe, try to release any tension. It's a deeper conscious on purpose release. That's why we're staying here for a few extra breaths this morning. Another breath. Go ahead and come all the way up. Erica, I just realized you're in a sweatshirt, which I never see you in a sweatshirt, so you must be cold this morning. Go ahead and bend, take this knee that was out to the side, and then we're gonna rock the baby on this side. So really it's just supporting the foot. You're moving the knee mostly. On your non-dominant side, it's extra awkward trying to rotate the hip joint, but any movement is good. Make sure you go in both directions. And then go ahead and put this foot down. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees out to the sides. If you've been sitting on something at this point, you can go ahead and remove it. Hold on to the ankles here. We're gonna go down 2 times. The first time I want you to just do chin towards the floor. And then the second time we'll go ahead and round the back, okay? So inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, move with your breath, chin towards the floor. And take some breaths here. See if you can bring your awareness to the hip joints and soften and release a little bit more. Keep the abdominals engaged. Inhale, come all the way up. Going right back down, round the spine like a C. Drop the top of the head towards the feet. And just let the head dangle here. Take a few breaths. Shoulders are still away from the ears, so you can use your elbows to continue to press the thighs down. And then inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your knees together. One last thing before we go to hands and knees. Legs out on an angle, or Upavista Konasana. Kona means angle. So keep your fingertips behind you to start off with, okay? Sometimes we have a tendency to bend the fingers in half. Try not to do that. You're gonna have to use some strength to keep you lifted here, or you could put your hands on that blanket or anything, whatever it was that you were sitting on, and try to get nice and tall. No breeze under the knees here. Same thing for when we do this forward fold. The legs are strong, pressing into the mat. The feet are flexed. You can stay here, or you can start to bring the fingertips forward. And if you feel like you can come forward here without rounding from the middle of the back, you can just walk forward. So there has to be an engagement in the outer legs here, in like the gluteus medius area. Just see if you can lift your sitting bones and engage that area of the butt. And that's going to help you fold forward. If you want to grab onto the outsides of the legs, you can. I've been instructed to stretch my adductors, so this is a good pose for me too. If you feel like you can reach the feet, go ahead and reach for the feet, but just, you know by now that that's not necessary. And then your chin is aiming towards the floor. We're going to take another breath or two here. And then inhale, come all the way up. Lift your knees with your hands. Bring the knees together, nice and slow, and come to hands and knees. You're going to fall back into child's pose. That seated wide leg forward fold used to always make me so irritated growing up. I would see people folding forward, being like hyper flexible people. And I'd be like, how the heck do they do that? Because I just felt like like the letter C just kind of bending in half, like a clamshell. I never knew the trick, I guess, as far as tilting the pelvis and using strength. All right, so knees apart, toes together, sit back on your heels. And just decide what you want to do with your arms here. If you want to walk them forward and start to open up the shoulders, you can do that. Maybe rock a little bit left to right. Or you can just rest the hands. You decide. Get really heavy in the sitting bones towards the heels. Feel a lengthening in the spine. Feel a release of the muscles around the spine. Let the spine sink right into the back. And as you breathe here, we're going to take a few more breaths. Feel the ribs expand on all sides of the torso, creating a spaciousness and an openness in the body. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift the head. Bring your hands to the mat if they're not already. And then we are going to lift and walk. So walking the hands to the right, hitting that other part of the lower back, maybe the QL muscles, soften towards the floor. Really, really reach with that left hand. And breathe into the left side of the body. You can even push your hips to the left and see if that gives you a deeper stretch. Don't mind me. Inhale, lift. Walk your hands in the other direction and use those simple tweaks for this pose, reaching your right hand as far as you can, pushing your hips to the right, breathing into the right side of the body. And then inhale, lift, come back to center. Bring yourself up to hands and knees. Let's focus on the wrist for a moment. So take the top of the right hand, press it into the mat. If you're not feeling a stretch already, be sure the arm is straight and you're shifting your weight back. The more you shift your weight back, the more you're going to feel. And then this left hand, be sure it's in front of the shoulder, supporting you. And this seems like we're just focusing on the wrists. I mean, it's a very simple thing to do, right? Important, but simple. But you're also paying attention to your lower back. Be sure that you're not dipping the belly forward. You're still engaging. Shoulders are still back and you're still breathing. Slow, steady breath. Go ahead and release. And carefully just circle the wrist out. And then other side, top of the left hand. Fingertips towards the body. Shift your weight back. If you don't use this hand as much, you probably will be able to shift back a little bit more. And then always check for alignment in the body. And then go ahead and release, circle that wrist out. And then we're gonna take our hands towards the front of the mat, hip circles again. So really big this time. Shift forward, to the side, to the back, other side. Really push your hips forward and to the sides. Go around a few more times. Take your time doing this though. See if you can get some really good twisting in the lower back. I mean, this is obviously requiring strength of your arms too. And then once you've done a few circles in one direction, go ahead to the other. I know for me, I feel, you know, sometimes some cracking in the lower back, which is good for movement, right? Shows I have mobility in my spine. And then once you're done, come back to center, bring the hands a little bit back towards the shoulders again. We're gonna take this right leg and bring it forward. And I just wanna start by shifting back and forth a little bit. You have some tightness, we need to kind of open that up. You're on fingertips like you're holding cupcakes. So this is requiring a little bit of strength, but you can use blocks too. Unless you're flexible enough to put your entire palm on the floor. Okay, so I want us to end with our hips shifted forward and then take your left hand to the ground and you're gonna use the right arm and just do big circles, getting the full range of motion of the shoulder socket. And again, 3 or 4 in one direction and then take it in the other direction. Watch your left hand. Be sure that you're supported and aligned safely. And then bring the right hand down. Right leg comes back, left foot comes forward. And we'll start here with some shifting back and forth. It is more difficult to, I mean, depending on your shoulders. I know for me, I really have to be aware of not letting my body come forward and round here. So it takes a little bit more effort, but it's important effort. Go back and forth a couple more times here with the breath. And then the next shift forward, just go ahead and stay forward. Right palm comes to the floor. And then we inhale big arm circles with the left arm. Get the full range of motion of your shoulder socket. Do a few in one direction and then a few in the other. And then when you're done, bring both hands down. Left leg comes back. We're gonna curl the toes under and come up into downward facing dog. So hips up and back. Push the floor away from you. And really focus on pressing and alternating pressing heels towards the mat to stretch out the back of the legs. At first. You can bring any movement into this that you want. And then find yourself being still in your down dog, lengthening through the tailbone. We're going to walk forward. Inhale, look up, and slowly step up towards your hands. Exhale, fold. Separate the feet, hip width apart. You're going to grab the big toes and then lift your head. So you're going to inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head. Hopefully you can feel, see. Yeah, hopefully you can see me. My hair is kind of in the way, but you're going to lengthen through the crown of the head and get a nice flat back as much as you can. I know both of you can do this. And then exhale and fold. Your elbows are going to bend left and right as you pull onto the toes and pull the shoulders back. Your knees can be bent in this too, but you're actively pressing your head towards your legs and opening up the shoulders. Let the head dangle here. Good. Yeah, pull the shoulders way back. And then go ahead and release the hands. Inhale, look up. Bring your hands to your thighs. Stay here for a breath or two. Nice flat back. Feeling the strength that is required. I mean, what if we stayed here for like 10 minutes? Should we try it? Just kidding, we're not gonna do that. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Nice. I'm not gonna touch the phone this time, so it shouldn't fall. I've dropped you guys twice now. I just think about people going back and watching the recording like, oh. All right, 2 sun salutations here. All right, let's move. Get to the front of your mat. We'll take a moment in Tadasana or mountain pose, and our edges of the feet are parallel, pressing the ball mounds of the big toes to lift the arches. Get the ankles as lined up as you can, and then lift the knees, not lock them out. Lift them up, make the quadriceps work, glutes work. From the navel up, you're just reaching upward. And then again, shoulders back and down. Find your center. What does that mean? Your center is the navel area. That's where you came from, how you were nourished. That's where our solar plexus is. So like our seat of will and self-worth and confidence. That's where we feel balanced. Your center of gravity. Slowly inhale, bring the arms up. And then exhale, fold. Again, roll the spine, pour your upper body forward. Drop the head completely. Inhale, look up. And exhale, step back, lower into chaturanga. Nice slow movement. Good. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, lift to a cobra. Feel the back of the body working. Everything is woke. Everything's woke right now in the back of the body. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. So curl the toes under, hips up and back. We're taking 5 breaths here. You can always choose child's pose as well. 1. Listen to the breath. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Inhale, look up and begin to step forward. Exhale, fold. Drop the head all the way. Feel all 4 corners of your feet pressing into the mat. Inhale all the way up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Good. One more time. Inhale, bring the arms up. Reach as high up as you can. Exhale, fold completely. Drop the head. Inhale, look up. Nice flat back. And then exhale, chaturanga. You can pause before you hit the ground if you want. And then uncurl the toes, inhale up, cobra, or up dog. Up dog would be bringing your legs completely off the mat. And then curl the toes under, exhale to downward facing dog or child's pose for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, look up. We're all going to meet in forward fold. So get to the front of your mat and fold forward. Press all 4 corners of both feet into the mat. Inhale all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Back to mountain pose. We're going to take a wide stance on the mat. So turn sideways, grab your block if you'd like. We're going to actually spend a little bit of extra time in this forward fold today. So if you do have a block, I'm just going to recommend you grab it. This is my block. Okay. So extend the arms just so you can see if your stance is wide enough. I mean, each body is individual. You know your body better than I do, but you do want to kind of give your hamstrings some support here. So the wider you are, the easier it will be for your hamstrings. Your wrist should be, maybe just beyond the ankles, but the ankles definitely shouldn't be by the elbows or something like that. Okay, so nice wide stance. And then bring your hands on your waist. Take a look at your heels and your toes. If I were to draw a line on the front where your toes are, if your toes were on the line, would they be even? You want to make sure that the heels are lined up in the back. Sometimes if you bring your heels all the way to the edge of the mat, that's a way to just know. You can have your thumbs pressing towards the lower lumbar spine just to keep the shoulders back. Make the legs nice and strong here. So as we do this, and since we'll be in it a few breaths longer, be sure that you don't let the ankles roll out because that's going to overstretch the ankles. I'll remind you halfway through or something like that, but press the outer ankle in. That will also help engage the legs, okay? So everything is strong here. You're going to inhale, get really tall, and then exhale. Keep everything you have. Just send the hip sockets back and the torso forward. Keep strong, keep strong. And then bring your hands down to the block. We're going to pause here. Even if you can go further, we're just going to pause so we can keep getting that feeling of engaging the legs, lifting the sitting bones, lengthening through the crown of the head. So it's like you're pulling the tailbone back and the head forward. Remember, outer ankle to inner ankle. We'll stay here for another breath. And now re-engage, lengthen one more time, and exhale, hinge forward. So maybe by now your elbows are bent on the block. You can go ahead and get rid of the block and just bring your hands on the floor. Just go as far as you can, keeping this length and strength, okay? And when you're done, or you think that your body has gone as far as it can, just drop the head. Keep the shoulders back. We're going to take a few breaths here. Keeping the sitting bones lifted and engaged is going to help your hamstring attachments and the safety of that. If you're feeling a stretch behind the kneecaps for any reason, then just keep a micro bend in the knees. And just kind of evaluate what's happening with the feet here. And are your quadriceps engaged? One more breath. Inhale, look up. Legs are strong. Exhale, bring your hands to your waist. And then inhale, come all the way up. Just one more opportunity to strengthen the back here. Erica, your legs were much less bent in that pose today. Yeah, awesome. Nice. Okay, go ahead and bring the feet together. Give your feet and ankles a break. And we're just gonna go ahead and move on to a balancing pose. So we're going to do a version of this lying down on our backs, which is easier with a strap, but I'm just gonna say, if, you know, I usually give you guys the option to, because it's gentle, just grab your knee and maybe open to the side with some help of a dresser or a wall. But if you have a strap, you can put it around the foot and maybe bring the foot straight out today. That's up to you. You can still hold on to the wall or a dresser, and then we would open it up out to the side with a strap. But you can still use the knee, okay? Or a dog leash too. So you go ahead and decide what it is. And if you're able to grab the big toe, I mean, if you want to do that, you can. That's the full pose. You would be grabbing the big toe and then extending it straight out. Your hamstrings might be open enough to try that. So you decide, yep, where you're going to go. Forward first. We're going to take a few breaths here. Lift the pelvic floor. And then go ahead and open it out to the side. Try to keep your hip joints facing forward and just open the foot. Good. And if your foot comes out, that's fine. If you fall out, that's fine. And then go ahead, come back to center. We're going to release the strap, put both of our hands on our hips and point the toe. And just take a breath or two pointing the toe for strength. Yeah. See what you can do. And then go ahead and release. That is like the most torturous part. That's like the worst yoga pose ever. It's worse than headstand. I'm just kidding. It is so valuable for strengthening the hips. Yeah. And, you know, knee health and all that too. Go ahead and do the other side. See where you are. Either grab the knee, use your strap, or just do the full grab the toe and extend forward. See if you can take a couple of breaths. Keep the pelvic floor lifted, the transverse abdominals engaged. And then go ahead and bring it out to the side. Nice and slow. Keep your eyes on one spot, one focus point. Nice. And then bring it back to center. Release your strap, put your hands on your waist and point the toes. See if you can lift that leg up as high as you can. And just take a breath or two. And release. Good. And shake the legs out. Come to mountain pose at the front of your mat. Inhale, bring the arms up. Interlace the fingers. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Two more times. Inhale, reach up. Interlace, exhale. Move your arms with the breath. Full inhale. And exhale. Drop the arms to the sides. You're going to keep the right hand on the side of the body, and you're going to take the left hand to the right ear. Stay with me here. We're just doing our neck stretch. Guide the left ear towards the shoulder. And now you're not putting pressure on the head, remember, you're just guiding. And you can reach, kind of lift that right hand and reach through the fingertips. You might get a stretch down the arm as well. I've heard some yoga teachers call this like a nerve cleanse. I don't know what that means. I'll have to ask some sort of doctor or scientist or something. I don't know how you cleanse the nerves, but I can definitely feel things in my arm happening. Go ahead and release, other side. So we're guiding the right ear towards the shoulder and then extend through the left fingertips. Notice where your feet are, where the weight is distributed in your feet. Notice if you're pushing your hips forward or if they're nice and aligned. Go ahead and release. Inhale, bring the arms up. We're going back down to the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back and chaturanga all the way down. Use your left arm as a pillow. Grab that right foot. Heel towards the body. Stretch the front of the body here. Push your hips into the mat. If you're not getting enough stretch here, sit up on your form. Go ahead and release, other side. Grab the left ankle if you can. The foot is fine too. Also keep the shoulders back. And you're resting your forehead on your arm. That way your neck is neutral. Go ahead and release. Bring your hands to your lower ribs. We have to do a back bend here, okay? Well, I shouldn't say we have to, but we're going to. We kind of do have to. All right. So tops of the feet are going to be flat on the mat. Your hip width apart here. So the feet are lined up with the hip joints. Bring the elbows in. Just scoop them in towards each other. You should feel the muscles engaging already. Knees are lifted off the mat. And then we're going to press and lift. Use the muscles in the back of the body the most. The hands are working here, but they're not doing all the work. And we're not squishing the lower back. We're still lengthening through the crown of the head. One more breath here. Go ahead and lower down. Forehead to mat. Take a breath. And then push yourself to hands and knees. You can come back into child's pose here. Big toes together, knees apart. You can grab the bottoms of the feet, just come into a ball here. Or if you prefer prayer hands behind the head, you can do that. Bring your hands back to the mat. Lift your head. You're going to sit up so you can cross at the ankles and have a seat. Once you're having a seat, lie back down. Actually, lie down. This is our first time lying down in this class. Let everything kind of settle for a moment. I'm going to do a good twist here. But first, let's hug the knees, okay? Once you feel the spine settle, go ahead and grab the knees one at a time. Lift the sitting bones to be sure the back is flat and rock left to right. As you're doing this, keep the belly soft. And then we're going to just kind of shift our knees up into the side into a twist. Important that your abdominals are engaged and your knees are as high up as they can go, all right? Extend the arms. So knees up and drop them over to the left side of the mat. You can have the arms extended or the elbows bent. And this is a pretty deep twist coming into it this way. So if you need to use your left hand to support pressing that top knee down, you can. Especially if you're really looking to release the back here. One more breath. Engage the abdominals. We're going to Lift the knees, bring them back to center, maybe rock back and forth once or twice, and then drop the knees to the right. Just do the same thing on the other side. If you want to use your right hand to press the top knee down for support, you can. Soften the muscles in the face, relax the tongue. Allow yourself to let go of any gripping in the torso. We'll take one more breath here. And then engage the abdominals, bring the knees back up, rock a little bit left to right, and then knees come down. So if you feel like you need something else here before we go into Shavasana, do that. Take a stretch, definitely take a stretch. But if you feel like you need happy baby or, maybe bringing the knees out one more time, you can do that. And then get yourself ready for Shavasana. Sweatshirt, socks, blankets, something to cover the eyes, whatever you prefer. We'll begin to take some deep, releasing breaths. And each time you exhale, feel your muscles letting go. And bring back to the forefront of the mind those gratitudes that you went through in the beginning of class, or you can bring new ones. And that feeling you get when you think about those things that you're grateful for, allow that feeling to resonate through the whole body during the Shavasana. As you breathe and observe. Bring your awareness back to your breath. And when you're ready, slowly wiggle the fingers and the toes, being sure to gently wake the body. And then move into any way the body wants to move. Another stretch, slowly bending the knees, maybe rocking the knees back and forth. And then roll onto your right side when you're ready. We're going to pause here. Use your arm as a pillow. Let the belly hang towards the floor. Continue to be soft here and just breathe. Use the strength of your arms to push you up slowly to any seated position that's comfortable for you. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Thank you for letting me guide you today. The teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for both of you.